Hello, welcome to part 2 of Catacombs of Knoss campaign. Let's continue from where we left off at the end of mission 1 and take a look at the objectives for part 2. Sneak into the tomb of the ancient necromancer Nas. When you've located the tomb of Knoss, find and steal his grimoire of dark magic. Catacombs are usually littered with valuable grave goods. The dead have no need of it, make it yours. Get at least 3200 loot. When you have what you came for, return to the catacomb entrance where you started. Okay, so let's make a real save. Take a look at the map. So we have pretty detailed maps of the catacombs, and just like in mission 1, there is also an auto map feature, so we start here, and the entrance to the Tomb of Knoss seems to be right around the corner. So let's check it out, and I'll explain the rest of the maps after that. Here we have our first two pieces of loot, the candlesticks next to the sleeping zombie, total 100.
Damn, there has to be another way in.
And we get a new objective. The entrance to the tomb is blocked. Rumor has it there is another way in, deep in the lower catacombs. Find the way into the lower reaches. Okay, so for that we're gonna need this key, which we're gonna use to unlock the door to the ossuary here. And to gain access to the lower tombs, we're gonna need to hunt down 4 talismans from each of the 4 areas marked here. So Nameless Ancient, Skin of the Night Sun, Hall of the 100 Heroes, and the Water Shrine. Now, you may have also noticed there's another corridor here, and that's gonna be our way out. That's a really convenient shortcut back to the starting area. In version 1, you could kinda reach through it and hit a lever and access the Tomb of Knoss right away, which completely broke the mission. So in the remaster you cannot do that anymore, which is one of the most important changes, I think. There's the goblet, total 115, and in the chapel here there's nothing really to worry about. One sleeping zombie and 3 pieces of loot. Go, total 340. And there is a readable. Letter to Zhao. Though, if I were you, I wouldn't worry about Maurizio. Threats are one thing, but I doubt he'd seriously want to engender the wrath of our master. Still, if you're intent on venturing into the catacombs, I dug up some old books about them. They were unclear about where Knoss is buried, but I can tell you that the lower levels are sealed with elemental wards. You'll need to find talismans of earth, air, fire, and water to unlock the gate. These are hidden throughout the upper crypts, and finding them will not be easy, with the dead roaming about. Take some holy water, or better yet, don't go at all. Your friend, Wrathborn. Okay, so that's everything in the chapel.
Time to raid some tombs.
So we can access the ossuary. Now the floating lanterns you see around are not enemies. The only danger they pose is actually lighting you up when you're near them. So here we have our first kind of opening, and behind this banner are 1, 2, 3 coin stacks for a total of 402. There is also a healing potion behind there. You can also rope down here, but I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'm gonna enter the Hall of the 100 Heroes, which is a really tall tomb. Now, a little bit deeper in the upper catacombs, there is a hint about a switch here, which I'm gonna flip ahead of time, just to save a bit of time. And this will open 5 secret rooms, which are marked with this, I guess. And that'll help us get a bonus objective. So the secret rooms look like this. Also, there are chests here, and each of them is trapped. So let's see what's in here. In 5 little rooms with numerous walls lie those great men that built these halls. Add them up with the push to their feet and count up the walls for the value to meet. So this room has 5 walls, and it's pretty simple, you just hit a lever with 5. And that sound and this particle effect indicates that we've done everything correctly. So there are 4 more rooms like this, so we have to repeat this 5 times. Also a rug, total 652. Very good. So here we have 6 walls. So 4 plus 2. And another artifact, total 727. So the Hall of 100 Heroes is probably my least favorite part of this mission. I like the look of it, but there really isn't much going on here. There are no enemies to dodge, so it just feels a little bit like busy work, especially if you're going for the bonus objective. So here we have 7 walls, so 4 plus 3, 2 plus 5 will also work. There's a tiara. 867. Okay, good. Nobody can hear those arrows, by the way, so no need to worry about that. So here we have 8 walls. And another artifact, total 937. Okay, this is the last room with 9 walls. And that sound indicates that we've done everything we need in all 5 rooms. And the rug here burned the total to 1287. So, once you're done with all 5 rooms, a secret door will open. Here it is. So that's the door. Here we have the mathematician, the architect here interred. The mathematician's chisel. Greatness comes not from gold or wealth, but honest toil.
You've got to be kidding me.
I gained entry to the tomb of the mathematician, and all I got was this lousy chisel. Okay, so let's close it up. And at the bottom here, we can get our first artifact. Not the artifact, the talisman. Now, when we do that, a bunch of ghostly archers are gonna spawn in hunt mode. And if you want to, you can sneak out of here. It's not that difficult. But I'd suggest doing that after you've been to the water shrine, for the reasons that will become obvious once we go through there. But in version 2, what you can also do is follow the hint from the note we picked up, crumbling scrap of paper. 11th from the bottom, silent are his sighs, he gazes on the greedy with unholy eyes. He leadeth mighty archers, out with from the grave, and only with a blessing might his hand be stayed. So what this means is we can shoot a holy water arrow into that statue with glowing eyes. And now, when we get the talisman, nothing happens. So it's a nice addition. It doesn't really enable ghosting because you can sneak out even with the archers there. But it makes our life a little bit easier. Now, instead of getting back to the ossuary, what I'm actually gonna do, so here where I entered the Hall of the 100 Heroes, there is an overturned statue here. And you can drop down on it, but you have to do that from a beam that's a little bit below, like this, not to take any damage. This tunnel will take us to the King of the Night Sun, and I'll use it later. But from here, we can use a rope arrow. And these yellow trims are actually made of wood. So that's why. And we can first access this place, which is right below where we took 3 coin stacks, through the banner. And get a gold goblet, total 1312. And use this tunnel, which is the only way, I think, that you can access the water shrine. And the water shrine is a pretty interesting place. Now, what's really intended for you to do here is to grab the talisman, these 2 swords will come to life, and then you gotta make your escape through here. And in version 1, that was pretty much the only intended option. So what I had to do when I played it is I would block these doors from closing with one of the healing potion, not the healing, yeah, the breath potion, which I have from mission 1. I would drop it in the water like this, it would block the door, and I would be able to reach the chest from the water, like this, and submerge and swim out before they see me. But unfortunately, the trap that shoots here still alerts them to hunt mode, so that was a ghost bust either way. But I was pretty happy to reduce it to just 2-second alerts. Now, in the remaster, we can just use the wand of the sunken blades on the 4 swords here. we can safely take the Talisman of Water. Nothing will happen. So, another nice change to the remaster. I would have been fine with 2-second alerts. But now we don't have to take any. And to get out, we use this tunnel, which takes us to the bottom of the Hall of the 100 Heroes. So that's what I meant with this chest. If you don't want to use a holy water on that statue, or if you play in the original version, you should do the water shrine before spawning all the archers. Oh yeah, I should close all the secret rooms. So back to the statue. Gotta be a little more careful. There we go. And this takes us to the very top of the King of the Night Sun's tomb. Here we can use this switch to open a secret room, get a scepter, which is also a light source, so you wouldn't be able to get it for Supreme. But that brings the total to 14, 12. So that's the proper entrance then into this tomb. Did you see me? Yeah. Let's just wait for him to pass. Now, this ladder you shouldn't use, because you see there is a zombie standing right next to it, and he'll actually catch you if you try to use it. And here we have our third chest with the talisman. Let's first get the 4 vases here. Total 16, 12. Now, if we open this chest, we're gonna spawn these guys. Really cute skeleton spiders. And in version 2, or the remaster, they spawn a lot closer than they did in version 1. So in version 1, they spawned on the other side of the room, and to ghost them, I had to get the chest something like this, and then slowly creep into the shadow. And I was able to evade them. Version 2 gives us an option to use the hint from this old torrent page. The King of the Night Sun sleeps in his tomb, down in the earth, where his light cuts the gloom. His pets scrape the flesh lie waiting to feed, offer fresh meat so their souls can be freed. And if we use the deer leg, which we brought from mission 1, drop it into the plate here, these guys are gonna spawn dead. And this is yet another change meant to kinda enable ghosting in the remaster, but ironically enough, doing this goes against ghosting rules, because we're pretty much killing 2 AIs here, and it's not allowed to do that even by the means of disarming a trap. So we can't do that, and even though I said in the last video that you have to bring a deer leg with you if you wanna ghost this mission, that's not entirely true. You wanna bring it with you if you just want to make your life a little easier and get rid of these guys. If you want to truly ghost it, you gotta reach this chest from this side. And then you can avoid them. And no meat is needed. And from here, we can get 2 coins and get into the nameless Ancient's tomb. Here we have 4 pieces of loot. A sleeping zombie. Here we go, 1822. Note. Aethric. If we're planning to break into the catacombs, I have heard tell that the architect who built the upper levels for the Hammerites, a genius known only as the Mathematician, was interred inside, along with his greatest treasure. According to folklore, the key to gaining access to his tomb lies in this rhyme. 5 of the 100 standing tall, they guard the secret, one and all. First of the 100, top northwest, he's the man who can tell it best. I wouldn't dare the catacombs myself, but if you're brave enough, you could be a rich man, Sammy. So that's the hint I was talking about, to access the tomb of the mathematician. We've already done that. And finally, the Earth Talisman. So now we have all of them. Okay, I'm gonna have to wait for this guy, because there is a piece of loot to get, and he's kinda in the way. So right now we're at the very bottom of the ossuary, and up one staircase there is a crack in the wall with a chest and an artifact. There is a golden nugget, total 1942. Now we can use the talismans. Which completes the objective of finding the way into the lower reaches.
This looks like the way in.
This dagger is loot, total 1997. So now we're in the lower catacombs. I'm actually gonna make another real save. And right now, we're in the Tower of Runelight. So I'm gonna get through it, and I'm also gonna hit the top level of the Tower of Silence here, and get a couple of quest items. And I'll explain the rest of the lower tombs once we get some new objectives here. So the purpose of some of these quest items won't be apparent from the get-go, but we do
I
need
wonder
them.
what happened here.
Here we have the Eye of Knoss. On the middle level here, the lit area is all pressure plates, but here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of loot, total 2162, and the brain of Nas. And at the very bottom,
This looks interesting.
we have what's called the Talisman of Attunement. And it goes into your inventory, and each time you use it, it's just gonna teleport you back to the Tower of Runelight. So it could be handy for backtracking, but I personally never found too much use for it, so I'm not gonna take it.
This looks interesting.
So here's the bottom level of the Tower of Silence, and we have a note. Mage's Letter. Corwin, to gain access to the Tomb of Knoss is no simple task. It was sealed with his own body, the parts of which were scattered throughout the catacombs. The only reference I could find was a passage in the writings of Archmage Endlered, which I have enclosed. It should go without saying that you should be careful. Beware the unquiet dead and the traps meant to ensnare grave robbers. But above all else, beware your fellows. The runes speak of betrayal, though from whom I cannot say. Be on your guard, and the treasures of Knoss will be ours, Xavier. The usurper was struck down and held with bindings both physical and spiritual. His mortal frame was then desecrated such that his necromantic powers could not allow his soul to re-enter it. First, his organs were cut from his living body and placed into sacred jars. His heart was hidden amongst the forbidden texts of the Tower of Dead Thoughts. His stomach and liver were set atop the Ziggurat of Elders, guarded by the Carrion children. His brain was placed in the Tower of Runelight. His cast in hand was lopped off and sealed within the tomb of Barrack the Alchemist. His silvered eye was plucked from its socket and placed in the Tower of Silence. The rest of him were burned until long after his unholy screams stopped, and his ashes were placed in the lower vault, where the earth's fires roar. His possessions were sealed into his tomb in lieu of his body. And now we get a lot of new objectives. It seems you'll need to find parts of the desecrated corpse of Nas himself to gain access to his tomb. Find his heart in the Tower of Dead Thoughts. Find his stomach and liver in the Ziggurat of Elders. Find his brain in the Tower of Runelight, so we already have that. Find his hand in the tomb of Barrack the Alchemist within the halls of eternal tranquility. Find his silver eye within the Tower of Silence, so we already have that as well. Find his ashes in the lower vault. So now, we have to go all around the lower catacombs in search of Nas's body parts. And the first thing I'm gonna get is his stomach and liver in the Ziggurat of Elders, and to get there, I have to go through the Tower of Doors. So this is a really simple puzzle. Follow my sound through earth, air, fire, and water. So if you hear this sound, it means it's the wrong way. If you hear this sound, it's the right way. we go. Now we're at the top. There is a pressure plate here. And here's the Ziggurat of Elders, which is probably my favorite place in this whole mission. I just love the feel of it. It looks like it's floating in the void. And we have these guys here. The Carrion Children. So the first thing you wanna do is get to the very top of the ziggurat. There's also lots of caskets here with names that I'm not gonna read because I'm gonna butcher the hell out of them, but each casket has a mask. Great timing of that guy. So at the very top is the stomach of Knoss. That's easy enough. But the lever is trickier, because each time you throw this chest, it's gonna vanish and move one level lower until it's at the very bottom. There's also a casket outside of the ziggurat, in the back here. Zagreus the Disgraced, so I guess he's not good enough to be inside the ziggurat. That's horrible timing to come down there, because there is no good shadow. Also, that sound indicates that they've spotted you. So let's wait here a little. There is Andlered. We've read about this guy. This stationary guy can be a little bit tricky. And here's the liver of Knoss. So all the masks bring the total to 2512. To get back down, just use any of the round doors. we're gonna wind up at the bottom. So next I'm gonna hit the Tower of Dead Thoughts. On the other end of this walkway, over there is a piece of loot to get, but I'll show you a better way to do it.
Looks like this must have been some sort of library.
Yes, very perceptive, Garrett. So this place is really simple. First there's a purse, but what you have to do is find a book on each of the 4 floors, and that'll reveal the chest with one of Nas Body Parts. There is one haunt patrolling here, as you see, and if you kill him, a new one is gonna spawn from that doorway of blue mist, so you can never really get rid of him, which is pretty clever. Also up here, you can find an Easter egg. Batman was here. So is that a reference to the Arkham series? Never played those games, but I know you can use gargoyles to move around. Gold candlestick, and there is one more on the lower floor. And the last book. Here we go, 2712. And here's the heart of Knoss. Make another real save. So this takes us to the bottom of the Undercover, which is a big open space with lots of AIs, but it's all very dark, so you're pretty safe here. We have one entrance to the Barrack Colony, which I'm not gonna use. What I'm gonna do instead is hit the halls of eternal Tranquility here. I also wanna get a piece of loot atop of this gravelly hill, which is pretty tricky, because it's noisy gravel floor, and sneaking up it can be a little finicky. There we go, a tiara, total 2837. I'm not gonna do that. Let's save. Right, so here we can rope up. And we can jump over back to the Tower of Silence, which there is no need. There's the entrance to the Halls of Eternal Tranquility. Which pretty much is an homage to Bone Horde. I would go as far as to say that this area probably overstays its welcome a little, because it's the biggest one of the lower catacombs sections, and also because it's an homage to Bone Horde, it's obviously not as original as something like the Ziggurat. Okay, well, it's a little tricky to get down here. Can drop on top of this and avoid taking any damage. Get 2 goblets. 2887. Unlike in the Bone Horde, the golden bones here are actually needed for progression. Barrack, we must split up to cover more ground if we're going to beat the others to the Tomb of Knoss. My trust for the Fire Mages especially diminishes with each passing hour in this cursed place. Go to the Halls of Tranquility. There the hand of Nas was entrusted to the alchemist Tradak. Find and return to the coffin his scattered bones of gold, so that his spirit might find rest and the hand can be ours. Corwin. Okay, so like the note said, we have to find all 5 bones. But it's pretty simple, because this whole area is pretty much linear. That tunnel is another entrance to the Barrack Colony, which I'm actually gonna use later. Here we go. First here, well, 2967. Another golden bone. And up here is a bottle of wine. Rain on the skeleton here, to 152. Up here are 4 goblets and another golden bone. One, 2, 3, 4. 32, 42. And that also checks off Farlet Guild. Pressure plate here, which is pretty easy to avoid. Okay, up here is the first place where you actually get a choice of where to go. You can go that way, but I suggest getting up to this walkway. That's the most efficient way. So down this corridor is another golden bone in the base, total 3342. And from here you can take a pretty nice shortcut by jumping over to that lamp. It's a really simple jump, and it brings you right where you need to go. It's place with 2 goblets and the last golden bone. Place 3422. And we're basically at our destination here. Good. Here lies the golden skeleton of Barrack the Alchemist. So drop all 5 golden bones here. When you do, there's gonna be a flash bomb effect each time, so I'll try to avoid that. This guy cracks me up. It's like he has the limbs but no torso. And he's gonna open this cage for us with the Hand of Nos. And once he's done his duty, you can actually pick up the golden bones and get a bonus objective. The golden skeleton of Barrack the Alchemist should fetch a bit extra as a complete set. 3598. So now we're done here. And the quickest way to get down would be to drop down to this casket. And then hop over to that lamp. And if I'm more careful, I can actually avoid being spotted. Surprised he didn't see me there, but I'll take it. Okay, so let's get down, just like last time, without making noise. I guess I have to wait for that guy. Okay, good. Now we enter the Barrack Colony, which may seem a little maze-like, but the first thing you wanna do is get into this earth tunnel, and of course there is a barrack coming this way. And this will take us back into the Undercover, where I said you can get a piece of loot. So purse here, 3698, that's the best way to get it. Now we can get back. This overturned tomb marks your way forward, so that's the tunnel right here. But before that, we're gonna take another detour to this cave with a stationary barrack. Because there is a piece of loot here. Another purse. Little 37.98. I'm surprised that guy didn't see me. But I'll take it. In this tunnel you really can't get lost, it's just a straight shot to the lowest vault. So here we come to the River of Fire. We're gonna access the Fire Shrine. And to get over, we can use these stones, which will sink into lava if you step on them. So they're just one use, but you could also just jump over. That was funny. But we do it like this, we don't have to sink any of the stones. Now here, in version 1, this chasm was not as big, so you could actually just jump over. But in the remaster, we have to actually use an arrow to extend the bridge. Have 4 more pieces of loot. 41.98. And the ashes of Knoss. So that's the last thing we need. And here is a convenient teleporter back into the Undercover. Didn't see that guy. Okay, so what we have to do now is access the Tower of Knoss. And put all the pieces where they belong. So each plaque will tell you what's needed. The unworthy cremated that which was left of me, so that's the ashes. The liver. The eye. The hand. The brain. The stomach and the liver. You can get spotted in here by guys outside, but that's rare. So once you do all that, a magic elevator will appear.
Here we go.
Okay, let's send it back down. And we've finally checked off sneaking into the Tomb of Knoss. So let's make another real save here. The tomb is circular and has 2 haunts going around. If you kill them, there is another doorway of blue mist, which will spawn new ones, just like in the Tower of Dead Thoughts. And Nas himself is over there. It's a skull dripping blood. But his grimoire is actually located above him, and it's easy to get.
This'll make any fence crack a smile.
Here we go. So that's our main objective. But if you want more loot, which I of course do, you have to risk getting close to him. And I made a little noise there. I don't know if he can actually hear anything, but I'll assume he does. There is a bunch of loot in his casket. There we go. Total 49.73. That's all the loot in the mission. Also, let me just quickly show you. Here we have the other side of the blocked off entrance. And that's Lord Gristwood. And here is our way out.
Ah, back door.
Okay. Mission complete. In 33 minutes, 12 seconds, we found 49.73 loot, which is all of it, and there were no pickpockets or lockpicked, or anything like that. And the campaign totals, time so far 1 hour, 25 minutes, 47 seconds, and loot so far 9,145. Okay, so that's a great mission. The original was already good, but the remaster is just fantastic, I think. So thanks for watching, hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. And next I want to do a couple of dark mode missions. I recently got into the dark mode and I'm enjoying it quite a lot. But that'll have to wait a little bit. I'm gonna take a month or so worth of break from recording, because I have other stuff going on right now. So, see you guys when I see you, hopefully with some dark mode missions. And until then, take care.